Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, May 31st. So happy Tuesday, everybody. Hopefully everyone had a great long weekend. It is 6:19 right now. Market's going to open in about 11 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick. Then we get started with our session for this morning. Get everything all set up right here real quick. That's good. That's good. A couple more things here real quick. One last thing, and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And looks like we're good. Link sent out. Let's get a few minutes for you people to join in the room. Looks good. All right, solid. All right, guys, so I'll give it a few minutes for people to make their way in. While people join, I'm going to go ahead and just mark up the liquidity here on the 10-minute. I took a quick glance at the market prior to going live, and I don't think there's going to be an overall bias today, but we'll try to see if we can find anything with the current market conditions. So let's see, it looks like people are still making them in. So good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, May 31st. We're coming back from a long holiday weekend. So hopefully you guys had a great long weekend. With that said, the market is typically going to be a bit jumpy after a long holiday because the market's been closed for, well, it's technically been closed for about it's like what, 4 days now, or three full days. I know the market was technically open yesterday, but then the day before that, but as you guys can see, the volatility was super low. A lot of the volatility is now picking up because people are re-entering the market from the weekend. So you're going to see some weird movement in the market. If we don't have an overall bias, I'm probably going to take it easy the first day or first couple of days. Another thing that you guys want to keep in mind that it is NFP week. So just because it was a holiday, it doesn't change the fact that it's NFP. So you get the weird movement from NFP, plus you get the weird movement from the long holiday week. So this is why you want to be a bit cautious for today specifically, but we'll see. I mean, if the market starts to move smoothly, then maybe we'll hop into some trades. But if not, then I'm probably just going to take it easy today. If I see anything good, I'll identify it, maybe take it. I'll let you guys know if I do take it. If everything meets, then obviously I'll take it. But if there's no overall bias, which is basically the first requirement for anything, then I'm probably just going to sit tight. But we'll see what the market gives us. Looks like there's a lot of liquidity all throughout the different time frames, though. I know we had a bit of that bullish push last week, but it might be making its way back down. The recession isn't stopping; it's still happening. So that's kind of why I expect it to come down a little later, but we'll see. I think this might be it for the most part. Go down to the 10. And I think we're good. Yeah, so we're good with liquidity on this page, or this time frame, I guess. Other than that, let's see who's in the room. So, hey, Alexander, morning. Morning, Patricia. Morning, Marlon. Morning, Saren. Morning, Rashida. Morning, Maria. Morning, Peter. Morning, Honey. Morning, David. Morning, Matt. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Jez. Morning, Chris. Morning, Eduardo. Morning, everybody. All right, guys. So hopefully everyone had a great long weekend. You know, I'm ready to get back on these charts. I feel like it's been forever since we took any trades. For today, guys, we're not going to be having the mentoring session. One of our members requested to have it on Wednesday, so we'll be having it on Wednesday, normal time, 2 p.m. Other than that, I think that's it for right now. So let me see if there's anything else for me to check right here. Hey, Professor, morning. I think this is it for the 10-minute. Let me go to the 1 minute real quick. And I'm going to mark up liquidity here as well. So I'll start from the, I'm just going to go up to the 1 hour because it's kind of pointless to go too high on the 1 minute since we don't really expect it to go that far. All right, so we'll mark this up from the 1 hour. It's good. Yeah, there's a lot of, if you look at these higher time frames, there's a lot of liquidity on the bottom end that hasn't been tested yet. So I think eventually it's going to make its way down this week. With NFP, I don't expect NFP to be good because all the numbers are pretty much down across the board regarding the economy. So we'll, if price does push up this week, it'll probably push up until maybe Thursday, and then it'll start making its way to the downside. All right, so we got all this marked up here. I think that's it for that time frame. 5 minute. Looks like market got kind of choppy more recently. There, and we'll announce the 1 minute. All right, so I think that's it for basically all the liquidity here. Yeah, I think that's it. All right. So we have this all marked up right here on the 1 minute. It's 6:27 right now, guys. So the market's going to open in about 3 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and analyze the overall bias just to confirm before we start. So looking over here at the retail sentiment is currently 52% short. So this is indicating that there's 52% of retail traders on the short side. This doesn't give us a strong bias at all. This just indicates that bias is neutral. So there's not really much of a bias here with regards to retail sentiment. This is not going to be useful for us today. Going over here to the fundamentals are currently down 193 points. So it's somewhat bearish right now because the fundamentals are bearish. However, the retail sentiment over here is 52% short. So it's indicating bullish, like a slightly bullish bias because it's over 52%, but it's not, this isn't really useful because in order for you to have a bias for retail sentiment, it needs to be about 60 to 65% or more in one direction or the other. Since it's not, this is neutral. The fundamentals, however, are very bearish. So this is like one part of the overall bias. You know, if we don't have the overall bias, there's not going to be a trade for me to take, specifically because it doesn't fit the requirements. Other than that, it's pretty much it with the biases. Let me check the news real quick. I don't think there's anything this morning. There was news at 6 o'clock, and I think that was it. So I'll just mark it up over here real quick. Market is going to open in about 20 seconds, guys. So we had news right here at 6 o'clock, and that is about it. All right, so market is opening about 15 seconds, guys. We'll take a look at the breakout. As I mentioned, there's no overall bias. The bias is slightly bearish, but there's no overall bias because technicals here are bullish. Retail sentiment is somewhat bullish, but the fundamentals are bearish. So if I do see a breakout here, I'll mark it up, but I don't know if I'll be taking it. I'll let you guys know. Maybe I'll take it for a quick little push, but I highly doubt it because today's going to be a bit tricky, and I don't want to be risking too much today. As the market reopens from the long weekend. Yes, Steven, no buys today. All right, so basically in order for us to have an entry here for the breakout, we need a strong red candle. The reason for that is because we have momentum pushing to the downside. So we need a strong red candle to confirm the direction. If we get that, that would be the breakout technically. However, it's not one that I probably wouldn't take because the bias here is not strong for a sell. Also, it's coming right down to news price right here. So as you can see, there's news price right here. This is going to be the breakout, guys, if you guys want to take it. But there's news price right here. So that's one of the red flags, if you guys remember. When to avoid trades. When the candle is too big, which this candle here is pretty big. And for two, when price is near news price. News price is right here. So possibility of it dropping further, but it can just reject right off the news price as well. That's why I'd probably be careful if you guys decide to enter anything here. And there you go, full TP. It happened way too fast. So I wasn't able to catch it. I don't know if anyone else here caught it. I was thinking about it a little too much before making the entry. So if you guys caught it, great. If you guys didn't, it's okay. As I mentioned, you're going to see some wacky movement today because market is barely reopening from the long weekend. So this right here, Maddie said that was a 630 candle. Yeah, that was the entry candle, Maddie. The market opened at 630. That was a strong red candle right there. Yeah, so I'm not sure if anyone caught it. This thing is still dumping pretty far. I hit liquidity right here and it's dumping down. Yeah, same here. I sat it out. Maddie said sat it out. Didn't want to risk it. Same here. It was just right at news price plus, you're going to get some weird movement. This is one thing right here that I don't recommend you guys do. Don't chase the sell here. Because if you guys are chasing the sell, this is just like a lot of orders filling from the weekend, right? Because the market was closed for, X amount of days. So a lot of these were like pending orders because the market for some brokers don't open till market open. And as the orders came in, it just flooded its way down. Now you might see people buy the dip and then it might swing back up. So don't get caught in this like manipulation right here. We already anticipated this to happen because the market was closed for so long. It's typically like this normally on a normal weekend, but obviously on a holiday weekend, you get an even bigger push because what happens is a lot of people start to meet over the long weekend and everyone tells people that we're going into a recession, right? So people panic. And what happens is everyone, they put a bunch of pending sells. So the market does open, it just tanks. But I could see price being manipulated. So just be careful with making any entries here. I'm gonna look for the retracement. And then if I see a retracement there, I can take, whatever entry that comes up from that point. But yeah, it's just a bit risky. So what I'm looking for is a retracement. This is why I'm recommending that you guys don't enter anything right now because I do expect it to retrace up slightly. It doesn't need to retrace up all the way, but it can retrace up slightly, and then it can make its way, back down further. So that's what I'd be waiting for. I'm gonna mark up news opening price, which was right there. You can see if there's any other news this morning. There's news at 6:45 and 7. So we got news right here, 6:45 and 7 p.m. or 7 a.m. Sorry. So we do have news coming up right here. I wouldn't be surprised if it swings right back up. So I'll leave that alone for right here. I'm going to go over here to turn on the sessions. Sessions are turning on. All right, so there's no sessions that are nearby. Let me go over here real quick to the clean chart. I'm gonna mark up the liquidity here. I don't think there's gonna be much liquidity because it already got hit on the clean chart over here. Let's see. So basically all this liquidity right here got hit already. Opening candles right here at 6:30. The news candle was at 6. And there goes a retracement that I was just talking about, right? So this is why I was telling you guys not to chase it. Look at the retracement right here. You guys can get caught. You guys can get really burnt if you guys chase these moves here. It was typical pattern. We already identified it was going to retrace back. And this is what we're looking for now. Retracement and continuation back to the downside. We'll catch on the continuation down further. But right now, there just isn't anything for us to take. Since we got news coming up shortly. 6:45. 7. I'm gonna mark up opening price right here, 6:30. And 8 o'clock. I think that's it. There's 6:45, 7. I think that's it for the news. But yeah, we'll see where price goes from here. This is a clean chart. I'm gonna take this off. Back to this chart over here. All right, so price broke below that low, but there's no actual entries to be taken yet. So I'm still waiting for it to provide an entry. One thing to keep in mind too is that this candle is huge. So this 10-minute candle here is huge. When this candle closes in the next 2 minutes, you might get a retracement. Whenever you see a big candle here drop, like this, for example, there's like one candle right here. When you see this candle right here drop, you can see how it retraces back up. Another big candle right here, or these two big candles, retracement. Same for this candle right here. I would expect it to retrace up a little bit. So this candle closes in about 2 minutes. It might drop a little further, but you can see the next areas of liquidity are quite far down here. And this candle is so big. Let me see it. I'm going to measure it real quick to see. All right, so this candle right here dropped 2,360 pips. So typically where I see it retrace to is like the midway point, maybe 1,000 pips or maybe even the entire candle before it makes its way, down further. So going over here to the retail sentiment, let's see if this has changed. All right, so you can see the numbers here shifting a little bit. This was like 52%, now it's 51. You can see people are starting to shift to the buy side because they're trying to buy the dip, but I don't think people are going to jump in just yet. Going over here to the fundamentals. Fundamentals are currently down 419 points, so this is pretty bearish. It was pretty much what we looked at earlier. It was still down like 200 points. Looking over here at the heat map, let me refresh this real quick. Heat map is pretty much completely red. There's a couple of stocks here that are green. Chevron, it's up like 1.6 points. Walt Disney's up 3.7, and Salesforce is up 2.64. But these are all small. They have small market cap. You can see how small the box is, so they're not going to be they're not going to affect the market too much. But there are still some green stocks there that can push price or stabilize price at least. So back over here, not really much going on the 1 minute. Still waiting for it to retrace back higher. For this retracement to complete, we need to get a bullish signal. So I need a signal like one of these green signals right here to push price up slightly. And then as it comes back down, I'll be looking for entries. However, we do have news coming up right here at 6:45. So I'd probably just sit tight until the news is done. Yeah, no problem, Jennifer. Nice. Alexander ticket for a small size. I saw that earlier. All right, so looking at the profits over here, it looks like some of you guys here did take the breakout. So Dre over here took the breakout, locking a total of 2,050. Nice work, Dre. Kenny over here took a trade for the sells here as well at the breakout. You can see the timestamp. He took this at 6:30 and 6:31, locked in a total profit of 3,026. Nice work, Kenny. Jay over here took the breakout as well, locking a total of 1,036. Nice work, Jay. Eunice over here too. He caught a little push of it off the breakout. He saw liquidity and he hopped back in, locking a total of 434 off this account. And then locking a total of 63 off this account right here. Nice work on both of your accounts, Eunice. Vincent over here as well took the breakout, locking a total of 745. Looks like he got in a little early on this one or got pulled out too early. Total profit of 502 for the day. Nice work, Vince. Melzon over here as well. He took the breakout on all of his accounts. His first account locked in 1,067. So nice work right there. Melzon, his second account, 1,067 as well. And then his third account locked in a total of 1,640. So nice work right there, Melzon. Hugo over here as well, locked in a total of 3,496. Looks like you caught this to full TP. So nice work right there. I see the green strip right here as well. So nice work, Hugo. And glad to see some of you guys still trusted the move, even though it was kind of risky there. But other than that, let's see. That's it for right now. Yeah, if you guys have any more profits, go ahead and send them in. I'm still waiting for this retracement to happen. Or I'm mostly waiting for the news to pass first, because it's going to come up in about 3 minutes. So I'll let it pass first, and then once it passes, I will possibly look for some entries. So that news at 6:45 is going to be Chicago PMI. I don't think this news is going to be positive, but I think it's going to be pushed to the upside. It's just going to do a fake out to the upside, and then it's going to come back down. I think because the news is going to be negative, a lot of people are going to try to sell. So I feel like price is going to be manipulated to the upside slightly, and it's going to make its way back down. So I do think this is going to be negative, but I think something like this will happen, or it pushes up slightly. Or let me fix that arrow there. Pushes up slightly and then makes its way down. But we'll see. We got about 3 minutes until that happens. Basically, this red line right here. Clean up this 10-minute. There's not really much liquidity here. What I kind of want to see here is I want to see liquidity build up on the bottom. So I kind of want it to range a little bit at this point. So if you guys understand how I identify liquidity, basically what I want to happen here is I want price to create a low right here. I want it to push up slightly, come down slightly, create another low right there. So it creates two lows. They'll create an area of liquidity like this right here. This is kind of what I want to see play out. Something like this. And then I want it to push up again a little higher, so that when it comes down for the test of liquidity, when it hits this point, it's going to break down further and shoot right to the next level. That's kind of what I'm looking for on my end. So this is the pattern that I'm waiting for to play out, because this is going to be like a perfect pattern to catch this move down to this next area below here for like a quick, 500 pips or so. But we just got to wait and see how it plays out. So that's the ideal pattern that I'm looking for to play out, coming back and hitting liquidity. But we have two news events coming up right now at 6:45 and then again at 7, which will likely affect, the direction of price. Nice. Duggan said held a breakout until the close of the 5-minute candle using the VIX as extra confidence to stay in the trade. Nice work, Duggan. You probably locked in some pretty good profit off that. Mario over here as well. Mario took the breakout right there. It looks like he locked in a total of 560. Nice work, Mario. And look where price is going. It's doing exactly what I just mentioned, right? So I mentioned news probably be negative, and you're going to get this bullish push right here. And then I think it's going to come back down. So as you guys can see, this is from experience because I've seen this coming right here. Let's see what the news was. Was it positive? So Chicago PMI was positive. Okay. So it was positive and it did push up right there. There you go with that push right there. I think it's going to come right back down though. So it pretty much did what we anticipated, this push to the upside. It needed to retrace up because it's been dropping for too long. It's way too overextended. You can see this drop right here was about well over 3,000 pips. So there goes a retracement right there. This is why you guys should not chase these sells. You have to wait for that retracement. But this is the retracement that I was looking for. We do have this buy signal here now. So now we can set up for an actual an entry because we can't get we can't really get any entries unless we have a pending momentum for most of the strategies. So there goes a retracement right there. I'm going to go ahead and mark this up and then I'm going to take it off the chart. There we go. So there goes the retracement that we were looking for. There's also a buy signal, so I'm just going to wait now. It's perfect. It's exactly what we were looking for. So now that price is retraced up, we can start looking for some variations to the downside. But now we have that setup pretty much played out. So no entry off this candle right here. I'll be looking for any entries, but looks like price is now going into that range that we wanted. So here's a 10-minute over here. It created a low here, and I want it to range a bit, create some more lows. I basically want it to do this. Push up slightly, make its way slightly down right here so that we can create another area of liquidity and then push back up. So there goes the first step to the setup right here. And when it comes down, I'll make my entry when it comes down to this point. Hopefully we'll get like a B3 or something at that point, or I mean, anything really. But there we go with this right here. All right. It's going to be updating these areas of liquidity right here. All right, cool. So looking at this right here, as you guys can see, this is the opening price. Price made its way down right here. So as you guys know how the phases work, the cycles in the market, we have a directional move and price ranges for a bit. As you guys can see, price has been ranging from this point to this point, basically this high, this low, from here, down here, now up here, and it just keeps bouncing back and forth. Next step after this range is going to be a breakout. So breakout, directional move, consolidation range. As the range gets tighter, they'll be setting up for a breakout to the upside or the downside, you know, one way or the other. But now we just got to play within the range so we get some sort of direction set up. Henry said, sorry, I missed what you said, but you were going to short the retracement. No, Henry, we're looking for an entry off the retracement. So we have price retrace here, but we don't take any entries. We take entries only if there's some sort of entry that's available. We don't just hop into a sell for no reason. We're waiting for an actual entry to come up. We need the retracement though for there to be an entry because we can't take anything unless we have a pending momentum. So we're going to be looking for some sort of entry if it does come up. We don't have anything right now. So let me take this off right here. That was news price. I'm just going to try to clean up the chart as much as possible so that you guys can see the direction. So we have another low that was established right here. Tody said V3 on the 1 minute. I don't see a V3 here, Tody. I'm not sure where you saw it, but there's nothing here for a V3. In order for there to be a V3, a high needs to be green. This high over here is red, I believe. Yeah, you can't even see it, but I think it's red. Yeah, the candle would be too small. If it's so small like this, I wouldn't even try it. Like you want it to actually be clear. Like if you have a green candle there, you want to make sure. Yeah, because if you guys look here, so Charles said it's red on MT4. Maddie said it's green, but candle is too small. You don't want to take a guess, right? Like if you can't see it just by looking at it, you're definitely not going to want to take it. So if you kind of, even if you stretch this out as much as possible, you can't even see it. I don't know how you guys have seen it. I don't know. I personally can't see what it looks like. So I'm not going to take a chance at it. I'm just not going to use that as an entry point. But yeah, I guess if it is green, then yeah, Eunice said it's a neutral candle on TradingView. Gotcha. It's all good, guys. Well, it is what it is, but I'm not going to take the trade even if it was there. Just try not to force any trades today, guys. Like as I mentioned before, it's going to be a choppy day, and you're going to see a lot of this back and forth movement. Only take it if it looks good, right? If everything is pretty much met. The one problem though, if you guys decide to take a V3 is that you can't confirm the overall bias because the sentiment isn't, retail sentiment isn't really there. So, you know, for the first step right here, you can still tie in like the other ones. Like you can tie in the fundamentals and the technical, but retail sentiment isn't really there so much. So let me see if this has changed at all. It is, okay, so it's shifted now, right? So as you can see earlier, it was 52% short. Now it's 51% long. So now it's indicating that we have a bearish bias. However, it's not strong. In order for it to be strong, it needs to be above like 60 to 65%. So if you guys remember how to confirm the overall bias here, you need that to be 60 to 65% or more in one direction. So there's not really much of a bias right now. And just a reminder, guys, it's only Tuesday, so you guys don't have to force anything. You guys still have a whole like week left, and it is NFP. So you're probably gonna see some weird movement from like now until Thursday, and then Thursday, Friday, price will start to move directional. All right, so we will see where we're at now. All right, guys, I see you guys still like caught on this right here, Tody. If you guys want to take the trade, take it, Tody. But I'm gonna tell you this trade's probably gonna lose because it doesn't look like a clear entry to me. But if you guys want to take risky trades, feel free. If you guys lose the trade, understand that you lost it because it was a risky trade. If it wins, then you know, great. But I'm not taking anything risky. I'm waiting for something to be very obvious and specific. You know, that's how you find consistency. You don't force trades. So we will follow through with it and we'll see where it goes from here. But I'm going to move on to the next possible entry. Yeah, no, I get you, Tody. And I totally get it. Yeah, Patricia said exactly. Wait for clear direction, ranging right now. Yeah, price is still in the range, guys. So this is why you guys want to wait. Price is not pushing to the upside. And the range is probably just going to get wider. Or who knows, maybe price will come back up, retest the area over here for opening price, and then make its way down. But all in all, I'm still not looking to take anything. Well, I'm not inclined to take anything at the moment because I only take trades if all the requirements are met. There's no overall bias. So either or, if we get a V3, V1, V2, V anything really, I wouldn't take it because it doesn't fit the requirements here. In order for me to take something, like all the requirements have to be met, especially on a risky day like this, because we're coming back from the long holiday. I know a lot of people are getting impatient. You guys you want to FOMO into a trade, but I don't recommend you guys do it, especially on a day like this. Let's see if there's anything right here. And we got news coming up in 5 minutes. Thanks, Maddie. So a lot of reasons why I'm just sitting tight. It's there's news coming up. We're coming back from a long weekend. It is NFP week. Just a lot of crazy stuff going on. Let me see if there's news tomorrow. I think there's going to be more news tomorrow, so we're probably going to see some more movement in the market. So tomorrow's Wednesday. On Wednesday, we have the JOLTS job opening. So I think tomorrow we'll have a lot more volatility in the market, more of a clear volatility direction. JOLTS job openings is going to be a release of basically all the job openings here in the US. I think this is going to be negative tomorrow because a lot of places aren't hiring right now. They're actually laying people off. And, or I mean, there's places hiring, but not necessarily as much as before. So that's why I think this is going to be less. And we have Fed member Bullard speaking tomorrow as well, and Williams. So we have the Fed speaking tomorrow. We have JOLTS job openings, ISM manufacturing, construction spending. Thursday, we have non-farm employment change. And then Friday, obviously, NFP. So basically, if we don't have anything today, I'm fine because today is going to be the setup for the bias. So once we have a bias set, which I'm pretty sure it's going to be bearish, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to be able to hop into some moves there. So just taking it easy today. If I see a good sell, I'll take it though, and I'll let you guys know. But I don't really see anything setting up right now. All right, the price is still pushing up. Price might push up to the news price over here. But we do have news coming up in about 3 minutes. So price might come to this point and then it might reject off it. It's a typical rejection of news price. Looks like some more profits over here. So Jay over here posted his profits as well, locking a total of 1,058. Nice work. Looks like you took this trade for the breakout. You took this at 632, locking a total of 1,070. So nice work right there, Jay. Patricia over here as well, locking a total of 4,143. Nice work, Patricia. Vincent over here took the ride back up, locking a total of 1,030 off this account. So nice work right there, Vincent. Narith over here, he took the breakout earlier as well. He took this at 631, locked in a total of 3,485. Nice work, Narith. Other than that, I think that's it for right now. So this is technically going to be a V3 right here, but we do have news coming up. So I don't know if this is going to be a good trade to take personally. But all in all, this is a V3. The only problem is that there's news right here coming up in about 2 minutes. So I'm not going to take it. I'll mark it up for you guys, but I'm not going to take it. It's too risky of a move. The last thing I want to do is enter trade, and then news becomes positive and it pushes price to the upside. And like what Maddie said, candle's too big as well. So I'll have it marked up right here. But, you know, as I mentioned, guys, I'm not going to take it because obvious reasons. We have news right here. And the candle there is it's pretty big. So this candle right here was about, it's not huge, but it is pretty big. It's 370 pips. So I'll see what happens with the news over here. Let me check the news real quick. News for today is going to be CV consumer confidence, medium news. This is going to be negative, or we'll see. Maybe it's positive. All right, so news is going to come out right about now. And you guys can see the volatility in price. It's kind of spiking back and forth. Obviously reasons because the news came out. Let's refresh this real quick, see where it's at. News is positive. So news is actually pretty positive today. I think this is just going to help with the setup today, or the setup for the week. With news positive today, people might be buying, trying to like technically buy the dip. And then I think when, so job openings, I think this is going to be negative. And I think on Thursday, obviously employment changing to be negative, and NFP negative as well. So I'm going to mark up news price right here as soon as this candle closes. All right, so that candle is going to close right now. And there we go with news price. There we go. All right, so as you guys can see, a lot of back and forth movement right here where price currently is. As you can see, it's right at news price. So price might come back, retest news price. And at that point, one of two things will happen. Price will break below and continue dropping, or it'll bounce above and, trace back up. But we'll see. This is probably gonna hit TP. It's just a risky area to trade. It's right where the news happened. Let me check sentiment, see if it's going up. Hopefully more people hop into the buy side. And you can see the sentiment is right back to where it was before. It keeps shifting. It goes from like bullish bias to bearish bias, and then back and forth. So this is why this is kind of useless today, because there's no clear direction. You want it to be at least 60 to 65% or more in one direction or the other, so you know where price is really going. The fundamentals are still very bearish, but there's no alignment between fundamentals and retail sentiment. I think by tomorrow, though, people will probably buy into the buy side, and then this will create a bias. We just need this number here to be at like about 60 to 65%. If we can get that, then we can just take sells and we can be perfectly fine. But right now we don't have that. So this is indicating neutral. This is indicating bearish. The heat map over here is indicating bearish as well, because majority of the things are red. And the technicals over here are indecisive. So we'll see where this goes. But there still isn't any entry for us to take right now at the moment. See on the 10-minute over here, Maddie said there was a snipe coming up. Yeah, I can see that right there, Maddie. It's gonna have to push up a bit more. So maybe not on this candle, but maybe the next one. Maybe get a snipe. And the strategy that Maddie's referring to is the snipe strategy right here. So in order for us to have an entry for that, price needs to push up and reject off the pivots above here. Because we need a rejection off the pivot and structure. Once we get that, price can bounce off and can be taken. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said he needs to push up a little more. Man, typical Monday, or actually no Monday, typical return from a holiday weekend, a long weekend. These days are usually like the most tempting too, because I know a lot of you guys haven't been trading all week, or haven't traded since Friday, or even traded since like Thursday. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are just itching to get into a trade. I mean, I am too, but I already know the risks trading on a day like this. And on top of that, it's NFP week too. So you get the risk from trading NFP, plus you have the risk from trading from a long weekend. It's not necessarily a smooth time inner trade. So here goes the V3 right here. Looks like it's going to hit TP, and it did. So if you guys took it, nice work. As I mentioned, I didn't take it. For one, it was at news price, or it was at the news candle. For two, the candle was too big. So if you waited for the retracement, you could have caught it late. But still, even after that, it was at news price right here. That pink line is. So if you guys caught it, nice work. I'm not looking to take anything risky, as I mentioned today. So if you guys did catch it, great. For me, I'm still not in any trades at the moment until I find something that's really good. So entry right there for a V3. If you guys are not familiar with the V3 strategy, it's right here. Confirm the overall bias. We technically have a bearish bias. Retail sentiment is neutral. Fundamental bias is bearish. Any technical bias is bearish as well. You can see the trend meter right here is red. It's below the pivots. Confirm the high low right here. Here's the high. Confirm the high is a green candle. It is a green candle right there. Confirm the candle. Following candle is opposite. Following candle is red right here. We confirm the direction of a pending momentum for a sell, and then you could have entered right there. So all the requirements here were met. The only main red flag here was that the candle prior to entry was too large. But if you guys remembered from all the other examples I've shown you, you could have waited for it to pull back, retrace halfway of the candle, and then you can see as it comes back down. This is typically what happens. When you get a big candle like that, price will retrace to either halfway mark like it did right here, or the full candle before making its way down. So that's pretty much that. Other than that, I think that's it for right now. So we'll see if we could find anything else here, but we would need some sort of confirmation for another entry. So now that we have the sell signal right here, guys, we need another retracement. So we need another green candle to push price up so that we can catch it as it makes its way back down. So right here is fine. I wouldn't mind if price retraces to the upside, possibly retest the news price right here, and then makes its way back down, or even news price up here. I mean, either or is fine for us here. Nice. So Al over here locked in a total of 511. This is off the breakout earlier this morning. Took that at 631. Nice work, Al. And C trade over here, Sam, locked in a total of 1,078. So nice work, guys. Not bad for profit to kick off the week. I'm glad to see you guys are still profiting, even though I'm kind of taking it easy today with this binary master for spam and leave. Ed over here sent in his profits. He said he took the breakout, made some earlier trades on demo still, looking to demo the rest of this week and probably start with my first prop account. Nice work, Ed. So Ed over here took the breakout earlier this morning as well, locking a total of 2,542 for the day. So nice work right there, Ed. And it's fine, guys. If you guys are trading demo, it's all good. You guys are still learning, getting the hang of things. Don't feel discouraged. I know you guys see a lot of people talk shit about people who are trade on demo, but if you guys find consistency on demo, you just continue what you're doing on the real account, you'll be perfectly fine. There's no need to feel ashamed to trade on demo, guys. If you guys aren't ready for the real challenge, just trade on demo. Once you guys are ready for it, then you can do the real account. There's no rush to do the real thing if you guys aren't ready yet, right? I feel like that's the problem with a lot of people. They just want to keep up with everybody, so they do challenges when they're not ready for it, and they end up losing right away. So guys, demo for as long as you need to until you're ready to do the real thing, and just ignore everybody who like you feel is like attacking you for posting demo profits. Like blows my mind when people hate on people who are actually trying. Yeah, no, exactly. Sam said posting my results more often now since it's only the same people making profit, allegedly. I know, right, Sam? I mean, I guess it's like the same like 50 to 70 people like getting lucky every day, but it is what it is. All right, so price is now ranging around this area. This is the same pattern that was playing out yesterday. If you got, or not yesterday, like all of last week. If you guys remembered, typically what would happen is price would start to range where news price was. So, or news price, or sessions, or let me turn on the sessions real quick. I don't think there's any sessions around here, but basically the same pattern would play out like all day. This would just range for a bit around this area. And then when price starts to squeeze lower, because it's going to start to squeeze, meaning price will get tighter. It'll start to squeeze down the middle. Once we have, clear direction, price will just break out one way or the other. My guess is that it's going to be bearish, but we don't want to assume. We want to wait until the market actually shows us where it is going. Let's see. Saw your message, Steven. Yeah, no, exactly. Maddie said, gotta let the market show their hand first. Yeah, and I agree too, Maddie, 100%. Just don't get caught in these fake outs. That's the problem. Like a lot of people get caught in these fake outs because you don't wait for the actual direction. And you can easily get caught in the wrong area. So let me see how far this range is. Price is currently ranging about 650 pips. So depending on your stop loss or wherever you plan on trading, this is going to affect your entry. So I don't recommend entering until you find something really solid. We do have the retracement right here. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for another high to be established with a red candle. I mean a green candle, sorry, like this, like for the V3, and then you can possibly write it lower. I think this is fine right here if this continues to create lows right here, because as it continues to create lows at this point, you're going to see liquidity build up right here. I just don't want this to close with a red candle. I wanted to keep pushing. I mean a red signal, because we still need that pending momentum for any of the trades here to come up. Yeah, I can see that too. Maddie said triple confluence setting up maybe. Yeah, if we get a sell signal, so if we get a sell signal and it closes below this point right here, then it would be a triple confluence. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to preset one of the entry markups right here, just in case we do get that triple confluence, because sometimes it does come up like super quick, like you don't even really expect it and it just closes at that point. But in order for us to get that, we need this to close below this price point right here with the sell signal. Nice. Joshua sent in his profits over here. He locked in a total of nothing for the day. Nice for Joshua. Same as me. So I don't have anything right now. Joshua over here, he's sitting on his hands as well, just waiting for something good to come up. He hasn't taken anything, so his account's looking like this right now, which is just like mine too. I haven't taken anything myself. Shannon over here posted up her profits, locked in a total of 1,163 for the day. So nice work, Shannon. Another member there with some more profits off the breakouts this morning. Other than that, I think that's about it for right now. As you can see, price is still ranging around this area. It's pretty much what we were anticipating. Before, this was the high, this was low, and then now the range is getting tighter. So it's starting to squeeze, which is exactly what we want to happen. We want price to squeeze so that we can be prepared for that breakout. So there goes the high there again. So you can see that the high and the low just got tighter. This was the initial high, this was the initial low, then the high got tighter, the low got tighter, and it's just going to keep getting tighter as price continues to squeeze. And that's fine, because that's what we want to happen. All right, so I broke past this right here. It's fine. All right, so no triple confluence. Price is just pushing back up higher. So I'll take this off. See how far it pushes up to. Check the sentiment. Sentiment has not, it's 50-50 now. So it's right down the middle. As you guys can see, there's no use for the sentiment today. As much as we want to use it, we can't use it because it keeps shifting. It goes from like 50% long to 51% long to now 51% short. It's just back and forth. The fundamentals, however, are still bearish. So we'll see what happens here, but we don't have like really an overall bias, guys. So as I mentioned before, in order to have an overall bias, you need this to line up with this over here. This isn't going to line up with anything because there's no direction. They're both 50-50. So without this, there's no overall bias. Price is pushing back up right here. Range just got a little tighter. Or it got a little wider actually, but it got tighter on this end over here. Just mark this up. All right, let me just update these real quick. This. All right. So this is basically how the market looks for today. As you guys can see, it's not really clean at all, right? So we had this big drop right here. This is where market opened at this point. This is 6:30. From 6:30 to 7, price pretty much dropped initially, retraced back up, dropped slightly from 7, and then now it's pushing right back up right here. Basically, this is the movement from 7 o'clock up until 8, and you can see there's no clear direction. It's kind of just setting up like a really big range. So that high just got pushed up slightly. And you can see it a lot better here on the clean chart. That like nothing's really happening at this point. So here is the 1 minute markup. Let's get back to the 10-minute over here. Here's the entry that you were looking for earlier, Maddie. This might be a snipe. That might close down. It has about 2 minutes left. So in order for there to be a snipe entry here off the 10, we need, again, we can't confirm the overall bias, but the fundamentals are bearish. We're looking for a wick rejection off a K2 pivot and the zone. So this structure right here. We're looking basically for this candle right here to have a wick rejection off this blue line and the structure. If we have that, then this would set up for a snipe entry and can be taken for about 500 pips right here. Only if it's met though. So we'll see. Steven's asking, so basically we want price to go high and we ride the wave down. Not exactly, Steven. We want to do that if we have a bias for a sell, but we don't really have a bias right now. So if there's a bias, yes, that's what you would do if you had a sell bias. We have a slightly sell bias because the fundamentals are bearish, but the retail sentiment isn't really there. So if this was like 65% long and this is red, then yeah, that's exactly what we'd be doing. We don't have that right now. So it wouldn't fit, that criteria. So we still have about a minute left on this candle. We'll see where it closes. If it doesn't close proper, then obviously there's not going to be an entry. But if it does close proper, this would technically be a snipe entry. So if you guys are looking for, a 10-minute entry here, this would probably be a maybe okay one. You just got to make sure that it actually fits the requirements. One thing that's going to be key here is that this pivot can't be touching the body. So you can see right here where it's touching the body. That's going to invalidate the fourth requirement. So it can't be touching the body at all. And there needs to be a rejection. If there's no rejection, there's no entry. So it doesn't even look like we're gonna get that rejection off it. About 18 seconds left. Push right past news price. Yeah, doesn't look like we're gonna get a snipe here. And nope, no snipe. All right, let me just take this off. So doesn't look like we're getting a snipe there, Maddie. Price is pushed up like pretty high at this point. It's probably gonna push up a bit higher. Let me see if there's any other. No, there's not even gonna be any other zones around this area. So either way, no snipes. Yeah, Maddie said he's waiting for a V3 now. Slurm said back to open. I wouldn't take a buy right here, Slurm, because there's nothing really pointing towards a buy. I mean, if you guys want to take something super risky where it's like you can be risking your entire account, then you could. I mean, yeah, it's pushing up to the open price, but I wouldn't take it because there's nothing really pointing towards a buy. Everything here is pointing towards a sell, but obviously, as I mentioned earlier this morning, you're going to get manipulation. So you're probably going to see price push up to open price, like you guys have mentioned, or like Laura mentioned. But the thing is, I do expect it to come back down because the fundamentals here are still very red. They're still down like 200 points. The heat map over here is still pretty red as well, I believe. Yeah, Shalom said, "Hell no, I'm not going to risk that." Yeah, I wouldn't risk it either. It seems like a good idea until like it doesn't like pan out. Like if this was if it was bullish here, so if this was 200 points in the green and this was like this, then yeah, of course I would probably take the back to the open. But if there's nothing else really pointing towards a buy, I wouldn't take it. Because I see this as a manipulated push. Like I see this as manipulation, and I see price come back down. Also, we have a lot of liquidity right here on the bottom too. Liquidity right there, and liquidity right there. So, yeah, pretty much. I'm just taking it easy today, guys. Until I see something good, it's just not really. Yeah, Maddie said if it doesn't reject from here, I can see it reaching the sessions, and I can see that too. So basically, if you guys can see these horizontal lines on the chart, this is structure that you can typically see price push to. Like for example here, you know how price pushed up to this point? There's certain areas where you can see price pushing to. It's like this news price or this news price or opening price right here. Now that price is above opening price, this is why Maddie's, he mentioned that if price doesn't reject here and fake out, end up coming back down, because typically there's one of two things that will happen. When price breaks past structure like this, typically what people anticipate is going to be one direction or the other, right? Price will either come back for the retest, and then when it comes back to the retest, it's either going to continue pushing up higher or it's going to fake out and come back lower, right? So that's kind of what Maddie's looking for at this point. Maddie mentioned if it doesn't reject from here, I can see it reaching these sessions, which I agree with, because at this point, one of two things will happen. Either the fake out where it comes down, or the break and retest where it pushes back higher and pushes to these sessions over here. So that's basically the confirmation that you're looking for, either a fake out or a continuation. My guess is that it's going to be a fake out because there's no reason for it to push up like this, unless there's like some news event that happened. Let me refresh real quick. I don't know if Kenny's here. Kenny, are you here today? I don't know if Kenny has any fake news on his lineup for today, or any videos that could that can indicate, you know, some sort of momentum push in a direction. Like, hey Kenny, yeah, I'm not sure if like, you know, if you have any videos of like Powell speaking or anything like that. Because if Powell is speaking, then yeah, you know, price will go up. Tomorrow we do have the Fed speaking, but it's not Powell. It's going to be Williams and Bullard. Powell's probably going to make an appearance, but he's not necessarily speaking, or he's not on the calendar to speak. So there we go. There goes the fake out to the downside. Pretty much what we anticipated. Whenever you guys reach like certain price points like this, you can always make or you can speculate. I don't want to say you can make an educated guess, because you can't really make an educated guess when price is doing stuff like this, because it can really go either way. You can make a speculative guess as to where price is going to go. So if you guys ever look around when price gets near these points, like for example, right here, here's an example where price broke below the sessions right here. And when price breaks below like that, as I mentioned, one of two things happens. Price either fakes out and goes back the opposite way, or it continues. So right here was it was like a double fake out. Price broke below, faked out again, and came back down lower. So that's kind of where you guys want to pay attention to. This is why we don't trade around news price or sessions. So if you guys go back to the red flags over here, that's the reason why I don't trade around these points. I don't trade near sessions because you can see right here where the fake outs happen around the sessions, right? Price faked out to the upside and then came right back down. Same with news price right here, right? Or opening price. Price is near opening price right here. You can see where it faked out, pushed up, faked out, and then it came back down. So this is why I don't take any trades around any of these horizontal lines. If we ever have an entry and it's near any of these lines here, this blue line, pink line, purple line over here for the sessions, green line for New York session, and red line for London session, I don't take any trades around that point because you get a lot of fake outs. That's where manipulation happens. A lot of people don't like identify this as like structure, but we do. And I know that this is like what, a lot of bank algorithms identify as well. A lot of them just have like identifications where like price is, where people are likely to take risks, right? Because I'm sure you guys have traded in the past where you guys just traded news because you want to get lucky, like to catch that volatility push. And that's why we mark up news here. These pink lines are our previous news price. Maddie said 10-minute snipe pending. Let me check real quick, Maddie. Yeah, you're right. So it's back down to where it was earlier. We got about 3 minutes though, so it's got some time. And we can have this buy signal here. So we need this buy signal to disappear. Yeah, possible snipe right there, guys. Still has about 3 minutes, so it's got a while to go. All right, so we'll come back to that. 5-minute pending as well. Nice, professor. Thanks for that. So there's a lot of confluences here with the 5-minute and the 10-minute. Actually, I don't see one here on the 5-minute. Professor, not yet. Oh, I can see it. You're probably talking about the sell, the buy, right? Okay, so this is actually going to be conflicting. So there's a snipe here for a 5-minute, but this can still play out because you can get like this can still hit its TP while this one hits its TP as well. Because this is going for like 500 pips. If you're doing the 5-minute, you're going for a smaller TP. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to take this trade, Maddie, because you're going to get opposite entries. You might get a retracement before you get a push in the direction. You'll get a retracement here off the 5. Yeah, it's too risky and choppy from there, from my perspective. Thanks, Professor, for bringing that up. Because typically when you get an entry like this becomes, I mean, it's obviously not going to be a smooth entry because the 5 minutes giving a small push to the upside, and then this will give its farther push to the downside. Fundamentals are still bearish. Retail sentiment's not really there. So this is where this would come into play. Right here, I would go in whatever direction this is pointing towards, right? So if this was going to be overall bearish or overall bullish, I would take a trade in that direction, but we don't necessarily have that. Yeah, and the 5 here, it looks like it's not even close. See if this closes with the signal here. All right. Professor said, isn't the 5-minute a pending V3 sell? Yes, it is. It's a really big push though. It's like 1,000 pips. Yeah, technically it is. Huge retracement though. I think the move is just too big though. Because there's a limit for it. So if you guys remember the strategy for the V3, or actually, yeah, so like right here, I don't have a max TP for or max stop loss for the 5-minute, but on the 1-minute it's 750 pips. So, but all in all, I think it's still a risky move because you have I mean, there's no snipe here, so this is not gonna fit. The reason why we don't have a snipe here, guys, is because we have this buy signal here. You need to trade in the direction of momentum. So in order for us to take this here, we can't have a buy signal there because momentum is now pushing to the upside. So definitely not one that I would, or it just wouldn't be an entry because the requirements aren't met here. So, all right, back to the drawing boards. There's nothing for us to take at the moment here. Again, right here, not one that I would take. It's just too big of a move. The candle is too big. Back to the 1-minute. Man, I'm starting to get FOMO. So I'm gonna look when you guys mention that trades are coming up, but I'm gonna try my hardest not to try to enter anything because I know, well, I'm getting just as impatient as a lot of other people are because I do see possible entries coming up here, but they're not good. Price again right here is close to opening price and it's close to news price. So it's still around the, the red flags that we identified earlier. Let's see. Gotcha. Yeah, professor said I didn't take it because it conflicts with the 10-minute buy signal. Yeah, no, I agree with that too. All right, so price is testing opening price over here. And now it's making its way back down. All right. Nice, Steven. Yeah, Steven said I made 2,000 from just your analysis. Nice work, Steven. Yeah, possibly a V3 right here, guys, and a V1. The only problem with this right here, guys, is that it's at the opening price, so the red flag is still there. So there's technically a V1 right there, but same issue as before. Price is too close to opening price right here. Yeah, no V3 because the stop loss is too tight. You need at least 300 pips. So no V3 off that. Technically a V1, but not one that I would take. This is when to avoid a trade when it's near opening price. And if you guys aren't familiar with the V1, the one that Charles is referring to, the V1 right here, basically you're looking for the overall bias. There's not a strong overall bias, but the bias is technically somewhat bearish here. Or actually, it's not. There's no bias at all right now, again, guys, because the technicals here are bullish. You can see price is above the pivots and the trend meter is green. And then the fundamentals are bearish. But there goes the V1 right there. So for the V1, you confirm the high right there. You confirm that it's a double wick rejection. Right there, you can see the double wick rejection. And there's a pending sell momentum in the direction of the trade. So with that said, V1 right there, full TP for whoever caught it. I don't know if you caught it, Charles, but I didn't catch it myself. Oh, man, I'm starting to get FOMO. So I'll keep looking for trades here, guys. I know there's a lot of trades here that look okay. They're not like for sure hits, and that's why I'm not taking them. I only take trades if I'm like almost 100% sure it's going to hit. I don't like losing any trades, so I only wait for the perfect entries. Um, so if I don't see anything soon, then I'm probably just going to not trade today. Um, just a reminder that we have a whole week, guys, so you don't have to force anything here. The last thing you want to do is start the week off bad, because when you start the week off bad, you're basically digging yourself out of a hole. So if you take a lot of losses on Monday or Tuesday, for example, you're going to have to basically all the wins you make from like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are just going to recovery from that initial loss. My best advice is just sit out the market. If you don't feel comfortable and you don't see anything good, like for example here, I don't see anything good because it's so close to opening price. It's so close to news price. There's no overall bias. Like if we had an overall bias here, then great. Like if this was 65% long and this is 238 points in the red, then perfect. I'll look for all sells that I can see in the market. We don't have that today. Today we have two different, or we have one that's neutral. This isn't useful. And we have this indicating a sell, but then we also have the technicals over here indicating a buy. You can see the trend meter here is blue, is green, and price is above the pivots. So if you have this indicating a buy, plus you have this indicating a sell, like you really don't know which direction to trade in because you have a conflict of bias. You want everything to point in the same direction so that it doesn't matter how bad your trade might be. If you take a sell and the bias is a sell, you're probably still going to win that trade, even if you skip some steps in the requirements. So that's why the first step here for literally anything that you take is going to be confirm the overall bias. Because even if you make a mistake applying the strategy, if you have the overall bias and you take a trade in that direction, you're likely to win that trade, even if you made a mistake. So that's why it's always the first step. We don't have an overall bias. You can take a buy here and you can get lucky, or you can take a sell here and you can get lucky, but you don't really have that confirmation that price is really in your favor, if that makes sense. So for me, that's why I'm not really looking to take anything right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. It's 7:37 right now. So if we don't see anything coming up within the next few minutes, I'm probably just going to wrap up the session a little early, just so that you guys don't get FOMO. And so I don't get FOMO as well, because I'm starting to get a little antsy and I want to hop into a trade. But I already know that when I start to feel that way, I start to gamble. So the last thing you guys want to do is gamble after I gave you all this advice not to gamble. So just an FYI. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys want me to cover anything, feel free to let me know. And I can cover whatever you guys need help with. Otherwise, we will be having our mentoring session tomorrow. And we can answer any other questions more in detail during that session. Steven said, when you mentioned there was no reason for price to go up, I entered a buy. Yeah, so that was just luck, Steven. I mean, you can get lucky. You can take any buy or you can take any sell here at any moment, and you can still win. There's the I don't know how to respond to that, Steven. I mean, a lot of people get lucky trading all the time, right? You don't really have to have a specific strategy to win. The strategy the reason these strategies really help you is that it helps you to avoid losses, right? That's the key thing. Like my strategies here that I present to you guys, they have a very high win rate. So if you follow the strategies properly, odds are you're probably not going to lose a trade. That's the real key here. Anyone can get lucky and sell and buy when they think price is going to go up or down, and they can win those trades. But the real thing is, how lucky can you get until you blow your account? That's why strategy really comes into play with regard to risk management, meaning, taking quality trades versus lucky trades. So, yeah, I mean, you guys are free to take whatever trades you guys want. The strategies here that we apply are not necessarily meant to provide a lot of entries. These strategies are high win rate strategies. So you have to wait for them to all be fulfilled. But once you do have all of these requirements met, you're likely going to win that trade, right? That's why you see me take a couple trades. You don't see me take too many trades every week. So last week we didn't have any official trades. If you guys remembered last week's results, we didn't have any official trades. It said right here, no official trades taken on the live session this week. Even though there were no official trades, I still didn't make profit last week because I did take risky trades as well. But because you're going to have entries that come up, but the only official trades that we're going to be accounting, like that are going to be accountable, are going to be the ones that actually meet all the requirements here. So that's the difference there, because we didn't take any official trades last week, but we did take speculative trades, and I still made pretty solid profit last week. I still took a few trades, but they weren't following the requirements exactly. So you can get lucky sometimes. Like last week, I could say I got lucky. I didn't follow the strategies as they're supposed to be applied, but I still took trades and I still won them. Like what I see a lot of people do is they ignore this one, right? A lot of people ignore the first requirement and they can still win trades here. Not that I recommend it, but your luck can only run for so long. Here, let's see. Steven said, based on the way you said it, I had a feeling it was the right time to enter. I followed your analysis. Steven said, when you said, and there goes price as it makes its way down, I entered a sell and made profit. The keywords you mentioned was there goes fake out as price makes its way down. I don't feel this time was luck. Yeah, no, exactly, Steven. And that's what a lot of other people in the group do as well. So if you guys can make use of my analysis and you guys can still identify trades, not even following the strategies, like you don't have to follow the strategies all the time. But if you feel the confidence with my analysis here, feel free to take the trade. So I'm glad it worked out for you, Steven, but I don't think you should do that all the time, only when you feel right. So Steven said he just felt right about the trade, so he took it, which is fine. And I'm glad it worked out for you. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people here take trades just off my analysis. So a lot of people don't even follow the strategies as they are. They'll follow the strategies or they'll take a few steps. But the main thing that people take away from these live sessions are my analysis, because I do try to break it down as much as possible. I see a lot of patterns on the chart without even thinking about it. Like you guys can see all of these things that I mark up on the chart. I don't really think twice when I mark these things up. I just mark them up and then identify where price is likely to go. Like for example, right here, Steven, price is now squeezing again between opening price and the news price right here. So once this squeeze is over with, it's going to break out to the upside or the downside, right? So that's what you can look for next if you're looking to take a trade off my analysis, which technically is speculation, but it does work in your favor if you understand what I'm referring to. Yeah, no, I'm glad it worked out for you, Steven. Still making your way back on that account, so hopefully you can get funded on that account soon. But yeah, guys, other than that, it is 7:42 right now, so I don't really see anything on the chart. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, I think I'll be wrapping this up soon. Price is just ranging between opening price right here and news price. The problem with this here is that I don't want to keep giving you guys this analysis that is risky, because as I mentioned, price can break out one way or the other. I don't want you guys to have that 50-50% chance, right? I want you guys to actually have a good chance with entering these trades and hitting your profit. For me personally, I'm not going to trade today. As I mentioned, there's no overall bias. Hopefully by tomorrow, this will pick up. I think this will pick up by New York session tomorrow, at least maybe up to 60%, I hope. But we just don't have that right now. So I'm hoping this goes up to, this net long will go up to 60%. And then, or either or. It can be long or short, just 60% on either side. And then I can start to look for a bias in that direction. But I think overall on Friday, I think price is going to come down, because I don't expect NFP to be good. If we're going into a recession, within the next couple months, I don't think NFP is going to be good, because people aren't going to be hiring and people are going to be out of money. So we'll see where it goes from there. But other than that, let's see. Steven said, another key phrase you use is, guys, it's probably going to reach full TP as it makes its way. And boom, it actually did reach full TP. Yeah, no, definitely, Steven. Yeah, no, if I could anticipate that price is going to reach TP, it's probably going to reach TP, especially if it's broken past a certain threshold. Like if price is going, in the direction of a speculative trade or a risky trade, and it has like, 100 pips left, it's likely to hit TP. That's usually what happens. So yeah, I mean, you're getting better, Steven, because you're not just like kind of lost now. You're actually listening to my analysis and you're making use of it, which is a good plus. As Steven said, I should probably use a smaller lot when I trade in these situations. Yeah, exactly. Because you can take more entries off the analysis, Steven. If you want to do that, you can just take a smaller lot size, like a half lot, and then you can just take basically any trade that you feel comfortable with in the direction of my analysis. Yeah, and only like when you feel good about it too, so you don't feel all stressed out or scared about a trade. But all right, guys, it's 7:45 right now, so it's 15 minutes till 8. I don't see a need to really hold on until 8 o'clock because I don't really see anything good happening from now until then. Price is going to keep bouncing around opening price right here, so I don't really see any entries coming up into play. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me or message me on Telegram. I'll be back tomorrow as we pick back up and continue on with the week. But yeah, other than that, I think that's it. So if you guys have questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'd probably recommend just sitting out the rest of the day today, guys. I'm personally not going to trade myself. So if I'm not trading, it's probably a sign that you guys should probably not trade either, unless like the bias starts to shift in one direction or the other, which I don't see it happening. So other than that, if you guys have questions, reach out. Otherwise, we'll wrap up this session early today and we'll pick back up tomorrow. So other than that, Kodi said 60% long already. Let me check. Oh man, I wish. Tricked me there, Kodi. I thought it was. So the IG, I don't think that's updating, Kodi. Yeah, I don't think this is updated. Update for refresh it again. It's now 51%. So you probably had it on the old page. Yeah, I know it's gonna go back to 60. That's why we don't really use this. I use the daily FX because this doesn't update as much. For some reason, this freezes up. That's why we stopped using it. We now use this. It's the same thing. It's the IG sentiment. It's just for some reason the data stream over here is not as updated as this one over here. So, all right, guys. And Kodi kind of got me there for a second. I was about to stay on and look for an entry. But yeah, guys. All right. So if you guys have questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow for the next